Hey there, it's Dorleen. I am going to be making a card. Now, I wanted to say the man, the myth, the legend. I have two upcoming birthdays, one for an uncle on my side of the family and for another uncle on my husband's side of the family. And they both literally are legends. So, and they're both celebrating their 80th birthdays. So I thought what I would do first is I'm going to check the home page because there's lots of projects that that people make, and I thought, why recreate the wheel? So I'm going to check to see if there is somebody that has already created a project that is similar. So I don't necessarily want to look at images. I want to look at projects and look at, here you go. So I'm going to look at the details of this. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is interesting. There's not anything down here. So maybe I'll edit a copy and see what happens. Basically, they've already typed the words, so why retype? Interesting. There's nothing there. That's what it looked like. So I'm going to go back and see if there's another one that works with this, because I don't want to put uncle. I just want to do the man, the myth, the legend, because I think, okay, so I didn't see anything there. Let me look at, this might work, because I could take away the dad. Let me think. Oh, wait, hold on. I really just want the letters because I'm going to be creating a card. You know what? Kind of cool. Maybe I'll add to canvas. And now I'm going to go back and see what else we got here. I'll view them all. That's a little different. This one, I kind of like that. But I'm going to scroll through. I'm really not that fast. Oh, here's another one. This one might work. Okay, I'm going to do this one too. Okay, so I know it's just, like I said, just letters, but it's one less thing to do, right? So let me think about it. I am trying to do a 5x7 card. I have a bunch of 5x7 blanks, so I'm not going to create it here on the Cricut. But if that's something you needed to do, you would just do a triangle from shapes and then add a line, change that line to a from a cut line to a score line, and just make sure you center it, and then you're good to go. But like I said, I don't need it. And that's what I don't like about this, because I really want my card to be portrait, or if you want to call it vertical, and this is more landscaped. So, but then again, it is actually really cool. Let me think about this. Okay, this one, I'm going to take away the dad. So it's probably grouped, so I'm going to ungroup it. And it's all with this piece. So I'm going to hit the contour button down here. And I want to get rid of all the dad stuff so I can... It's also easier just to click on them. Let me see. Yep, got rid of it. So now I have the lines and the words. So I'm going to save this because this is interesting. Man, myth, legend. I'm going to save it. I've got a bunch of collections. I'm going to save it to my cards. I'm just going to hit save. At this point, I'm doing a voiceover because I stopped talking. And so I realized, oh, I stopped talking. But basically, you saw me grab this half circle from the basic shapes, and then I'm just adjusting it to fit above these letters and the long line. Now, I mentioned earlier that the cards that I'm going to be making are vertical, so I want to make it longer than it is wide. And so this really helps with that. Once I clicked everything all together, I did an offset, and then you saw me hit the contour button because I didn't want all the holes in the middle. So I wanted it one solid piece. So I typed in the numbers 80, because I'm going to put it in that half circle. And I'm just kind of messing with colors at this point, which, I mean, it's not really that important at this point, but I did decide to change the font because I wanted it a little fancier and a little wider. So I'm using the Anna Lee font that you just saw me click on. And again, I'm making sure I center the entire thing, and then I'm grouping it together. I'm saving it right here. Earlier you saw me get rid of that other, the more wavier words. I figured at that point I knew I wasn't going to use it. So I created a guideline for that 5x7 card by just doing a rectangle, making a square, a rectangle, and then changing it from cut to guide. And then that's how I'm going to see if it's enough room to fit there. Now, I also mentioned that I'm making 2 of these, so I just copied and pasted or duplicated the whole image so that I have 2. Now, one of them that I'm working on, it's going to be a silver and black theme, and the other is going to be red and gold, because if you're from Northern California, then you know that means one is a 49er fan and one is a Raider fan. So I'm going to adjust it to look like that. Now, at one point, my camera stopped filming because my phone battery stopped or died. And so what I think is perfect here, I realized, no, it needs more. So once I cut out all the pieces, I started looking at it thinking, no, I wanted more to it. So underneath the 80, I did do a banner and also a star. So with the banner, I also did an offset of the letter or the numbers 80, and then I welded those together so that it was kind of one image, and you'll see it at the end. So this is another part where I thought I was working hard, and again my battery just kind of died out on me. But also, I don't know if it was because it died out on me, or I think I got a phone call and it just cut it off. But anyhow, I'm just adding the letters, which is pretty easy to figure out. I'm just using some liquid adhesive and my T-ruler to make sure that they're straight-ish. Because if you are already a subscriber of mine, you know I don't really do anything straight. When I put this first T down, I realized, that wasn't right. I have a bigger T actually, and then I'll move that in a minute. But I will show you towards the end. Once, like I mentioned, I realized I wanted a little bit more than just the letters and the number. So I added that half circle, which you saw me do. I added a banner that runs behind the the numbers 80, and then I added a star. And then what I decided as I was putting it all together, I realized, you know what, I really wanted another offset. So even though I had already cut these out, it's nice because I had saved the image so this exact same size. So I went back into Design Space, and then I put an offset around the whole thing that shows the top point of the star and like the banner where it goes over the edges on both the right and left sides. This will all make sense when I get to that point, but it's just a very thin black border, and it just allows me better placement on where to put those things to make sure that they're centered and lined up a little better. So the T-square ruler really helped me on this, because I think those letters probably would have just been all kinds of wonky if I would have just eyeballed it. So I was really happy to use this ruler on the project. And I mentioned before I made 2 cards. So obviously the one I'm showing you is the 49er colored one. So once everything was put together, I did add some highlights with white pen and also black pen, depending on which card you're looking at. I had the 5x7 and just a white card base, and I thought, it needed color. So that's why I decided to put pattern paper on top of the 5x7 card. And I cut that I don't know the exact measurements, but if you looked at the ruler, it's that one little notch that's right before the 7 and the one little notch that's right before the 5. So it covered most of the white card, but it also gave a border of white, which I loved. I really, really like that I used the glitter paper for the gold pieces and also the silver. I think that really adds another level. I also used some foam adhesive underneath the banner and the 80. So again, love the way it turned out, and I hope you do too. And if you do, hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. I know my two uncles are going to love these cards. Bye.